Several years ago, I heard this story about Gardner Taylor, which was a elite great leader within the Baptist Association. Gardner Taylor often tells this story of how his father died back in the mid-1900s. And back then, there was no government assistance for low-income black families and families that needed support from the government. They didn't have any type of support back in those days. And after his father died, his mother took all the money they had saved up to bury his father. And after the funeral, and they made it back home, she was in the room crying, and she was praying, and she was crying, and she was praying. Now, I don't know if you've been living long enough, but you know anything about crying and praying, but if you continue to live, you'll know a lot about crying and praying, both at the same time. And his mother was just crying out to the Lord, and he walked in as a little boy and saw his mother crying, and he looked at his mother and said, "Mama, how are we gonna make it?" With tears in her eyes, she looked at her 9-year-old son and she said, "Baby, the Lord will make a way somehow." He said it was over 30 years later when he understood what his mama was saying. What was his mama saying? If you know who, don't worry about the how. He asked his mother how. And his mother told him who. Just as long as you got a firm foundation with the who, don't worry about the how, because the who would always take care of the how. So don't ask yourself how you gonna get through a storm. Don't ask yourself how you gonna get through a situation. You just need to worry about, as long as you got a firm foundation with the who, then the how is a non-effect. Thank you. Bam.